Out more about how your business can benefit from cable advertising. Call Tidewater Cable Interconnect at 873-1366.
Special smiles are one of life's pure joys. Sometimes it's your smile. Sometimes it's the smile of others. That's what you get back when you contribute to the Virginia Special Olympics. We need your help for these heroes. Together we win. To contribute, call 800-932-GOLD. Virginia Special Olympics, celebrating 25 years of special smiles.
Following is a special presentation on TNN, the Nashville Network.
Dale Earnhardt. He's won in excess of $17 million and is worshipped by a huge following. Over $8 million has been awarded to Rusty Wallace, and his fan club is just as large. NASCAR is filled with stars who compete in front of millions of adoring spectators. But standing behind them is a legion of single-minded, dedicated workers, men and sometimes women, who understand the loneliness of the long watch, who appreciate, perhaps as no other, that no job is too small to be done well. For them, the tedium of exacting work must at times seem endless. Without them, there could be no race day, no victory, no loss, no glory. These are the people who make it all happen, who accept the challenge of quiet commitment so that others may stand in the light. TNN Motorsports proudly presents NASCAR Winston Cup Racing. From Rockingham, North Carolina, the AC Delco 500. If the Winston Cup season is a war, this is one of its many battles. And Danny Lawrence is one of the foot soldiers preparing the Richard Childress-owned Chevrolet to race today. Sitting in that car, the field general for that team, Dale Earnhardt, the point leader. And with him, Glenn Jarrett.
Well, Mike, he's getting dressed, putting his helmet on right now. Dale, you're starting a little far back in the field, but that's really not that big a deal in a 500-mile race, is it?
It's not as far back as I have started before, so, you know, we were just happy to requalify and get on the front straightaway pit, so that was a big key factor for us, and, you know, it's we're racing to win, but we're also racing for that points battle, and Rusty's just up in front of us in the car ahead of us here, so we're going to have a good race today. You know, our car is working pretty good, and I feel good about it.
Well, this place, victory-wise, has not been that good to you, but you've had some good finishes here.
Well, we run good here, and that's the key. Do it today, that'd be another key.
He'll do it today. Ralph?
Tire specialist Brad Parrott checks one more time on the Goodyear tires to make sure that his driver, Rusty Wallace, has exactly what he needs. Now, Rusty, you brought a different car with you than the one you won here with in the spring. How come?
Well, I've had a lot of success with this particular car. It's we call it Midnight. I've won 6 races with it this year. I like it a lot, and I felt like it's a little quicker car than I had the first time.
Now, your championship rival, Earnhardt, starts just behind you. Are you going to spend much time looking in the rearview mirror, or do you just charge ahead?
Well, we got to charge ahead pretty smart. I'm going to try to get up there as quick as I can if the car is strong enough and lead some laps. I didn't take the lead here last time until about 260 laps in the race, but I was able to lead the most laps, and that's important.
Mike, maybe Midnight's enough to get a win today.
Well, maybe that and his pit crew, Ralph. Hi, everybody. Yesterday, Rusty Wallace's team won NASCAR's annual pit crew competition. Second win in that for crew chief Buddy Parrott and for the men behind him. So today, much of our coverage will focus not on the $1 million a year drivers, not on the $200,000 a year crew chiefs, but on the men who work behind them, the pit crews. Each team averages 13 crew members, and they travel at an average weekly on-the-road cost of over $8,000. The average front-running team has a payroll of $1 million, not counting the driver, the crew chief, and the team manager, and it costs about $200,000 a year to run those fellows around the country, those that travel with the teams and support those that run in the shop. For more on that, to my broadcast colleagues, Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. First, here's Neil.
We're always getting calls and letters at TNN. What does it take to get to be on a Winston Cup race team? Let me tell you what, it's not always glamorous. You're not the crew chief. You're not the top mechanic. I'm sitting there with Sean Wood, who works for Harry Gant. The sun's just coming up on race morning. Just what are we doing this morning?
I'm trying to get the lugs ready today. We'll probably have between 7 and 11 sets of tires today, and got to have all the lugs ready for all 11 sets.
What did you do initially to get to work on this team?
I initially started out just working for Leo in his race shop up there, and then he got Harry in '89 and asked me if I wanted to help on the race crew, and I've been doing that ever since.
Well, I tell you what, it's not always the fancy job, but you got to start at the bottom and work your way up to getting these Winston Cup teams. For more odd jobs in racing, let's go down to Buddy Baker.
One of the most important jobs in all of racing is the gas man. He must get every drop of fuel in this car every time it stops, because a lot of times a pint of fuel makes a difference in whether you win or lose. It's also one of the most dangerous jobs you can have. What in the world made you decide to be a gas man?
Right, just the pressure, buddy. Making sure that the car gets full. All the guys can depend on me to fill the car.
There's 40 guys out here, and every one of them wants to have a gas man just like this guy. It depends on whether you win or lose, what he does.
Well, from the folks over the wall to those who work behind the wall in the fabrication and the engine shops that answer the phone and make the hotel reservations, there may be as many as 30 people supporting each of these teams. TNN Motorsports exclusive live coverage of the AC Delco 500 is brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. By cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Miller Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. By Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Ford Trucks, the best never rest.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank. Okay. Yes, get us 2 cases. I have one.
Yes, sir, right away.
Robert, we're out. Get us 2 cases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco. The same Haviland Formula 3 you can use in your car.
That was quick.
Yeah, they had it right down the street.
Hey, we got 15 minutes more.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it, if you can.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSC street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSC, only from Goodyear.
Where you see a close encounter, Ford sees a way to make braking safer for you. Where you see a crowded corner, Ford sees ways to make cornering more secure. It's why we race. Every time you see Ford take home another trophy, Ford has seen ways to win something far more important: every driver's confidence. Have you driven a Ford lately?
What's new from Xerox? Xerox Extreme 450 antifreeze and a new 4-year guarantee. We've taken our promise to extremes. For the next 4 years or the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox.
A jet flyover just accompanied the national anthem here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. There are the crews lined up in their pit stalls for the ceremonies, and now back to the business of preparing to go racing. It's been a tough weekend for one of the Winston Cup teams. Settling into position, Ralph Shaheen with Kenny Wallace.
Timmy Wallace is busy cleaning the window so that his driver and cousin Kenny can charge through the field. How'd you end up back here?
Well, we had a little tire problems. There was a little bit of discrepancy in the tire rule, and it didn't go our way. But, you know, this is one of the first times I'm looking in my mirror and don't see nobody behind me. So I'll be running as hard as I can today. come down to the end of the season, and we need to take the team into the winter months with a good, positive attitude. So we look forward to the Dirt Devil Pontiac running good, I think.
Now up to the positive end of the grid, and Glenn Jarrett.
Well, you're looking at crewman James Ince. He's making final preparations, final air check on Mark Martin's tires, and Mark is sitting here impatiently waiting. He's ready to get this thing going. If you saw us yesterday, you saw Mark kill the field in the Busch race. It seems like when you win that Busch race, you come back and run awfully strong on Sunday.
We're pumped up and ready to go. I really can't wait. This car's been working good since we got here on Thursday, and you know, we're going to give them our best, and we'll get going here about 50 laps in. We'll know what we got and if we need to work on it or whatever.
Okay, best of luck to you today, Mark. Mark loves this racetrack. He runs well here. The last Winston Cup race was held at Charlotte, North Carolina 2 weeks ago. There, this car, starting from the outside of row 1, put forth a display of dominance rarely seen, as Mike Joy reports in today's Haviland Update.
Ernie Irvin tried to lull them to sleep at Charlotte 2 weeks ago, leading all but 6 laps en route to victory. But talk about living on the edge. Watch Mark Martin battling Dale Earnhardt for second. He loses it, catches it, loses it, catches it, loses it, and catches it once again. It was that kind of day for the Valvoline Ford. Watch him here as he fends off Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace. In the end, it would be Earnhardt challenging Martin for second place in the race. But the Ford kept holding off the Chevrolet while Irvin sped uncontested to victory. Martin held off Earnhardt and at the bottom of your screen, Rusty Wallace. Since Dale led a lap and Rusty didn't, Earnhardt gains 10 points in the quest for the Winston Cup. Mark Martin solidly in third ahead of Dale Jarrett and Morgan Shepherd. Then 6 through 10, Kyle Petty, Kenny Schrader, Ernie Irvin rising in the standings, then Bill Elliott and rookie Jeff Gordon.
Crew member Gary Beveridge making one final look at the rear spoiler of the Texaco Haviland Ford Thunderbird. Driver Ernie Irvin, who sits strapped into his car. Ernie, this so far has been a season of streaks. Now you're on one, 2 in a row. Can you make it 3 here at Rockingham?
Well, it's not 2 in a row, but it's one, then a not win, then a win. So never have 1-2 before, but sure would like to with this Texaco Haviland Ford.
What we saw yesterday in the Busch race was a very slippery racetrack here at Rockingham and a brutal track. How will you attack this facility?
Well, you know, it's basically just the track's wore out. So, you know, Goodyear gives us a good tire, but it's just not going to stick to rocks. And, you know, we're just going to go out there and just slip and slide, and it's going to be whoever slips and slides the best is going to win this race.
Mike Ernie Irvin will start on the inside of row number 2.
Thanks, Ralph. We've got a Polaroid photo fake-out for you this week again. It's about this car, and we're going to make it a little bit tougher than usual. We're going to show you a picture of a full-service pit stop. If you can tell us what's wrong with this picture, you could win a trip to the Daytona 500. Look closely.
What's wrong with this picture?
Hi, I'm Shauna Robinson.
And I'm Aaron Tippett.
You've got to check out the Polaroid Captiva Photo Fakeout. If you send in the correct entry, you can win big. And one grand prize winner will win a dream trip for 2 to Daytona 500 and 2 nights at Captiva Island.
3 winners will win a 2-night trip for 2 to beautiful Captiva Island, Florida. And we'll go to dinner with you and a guest in Daytona.
And there's more.
Prizes include Polaroid Captiva cameras and Aaron Tippin's CD catalog, including his latest release, Call of the Wild. To enter, call 1-900-737-4TNN. Each call costs 90 cents per call. No phone call necessary to win. Or send your answer along with your name, address, and phone number to this address. This sweepstakes is brought to you by Polaroid's Captiva camera.
A few minutes ago, some non-ticket buying spectators visited North Carolina Motor Speedway. I don't think they landed that one on the drag strip across the street. There's Kyle Petty among those getting set to go to work here at Rockingham. Packed house. 41 cars ready to roll. Here's Bill Elliott. And everything's running, so it's here's Die Hard Battery. Now with more power when you need it most. Presents the starting grid for today's race. Mark Martin, 23rd career pole, 5th of the season. Kenny Schrader, 8th front row start this year. Ernie Irvin, who dominated at Charlotte, and Bill Elliott, a 3-time winner here. Row number 3, Ricky Rudd won at Michigan in June, and Kyle Petty's the defending champion of this race. Row 4, Jeff Gordon, runner-up at Charlotte and Michigan, and Morgan Shepherd, who won at Atlanta in March. In row 5, Harry Gantz led over 1,000 laps on this track, but he's never won here. And Dick Trickle has his best start all year. He's in the Larry Hedrick car. Brett Bodine, second at Darlington last month, and Bobby Labonte with 5 top 10 finishes. Rick Mast ran 5th at Bristol in August, and Joe Nemechek takes his second ride in the Kodak Morgan McClure Chevy. Row number 8. Jimmy Spencer starts to the inside, second at Talladega, and Darrell Waltrip, a 3-time winner of this race. Derek Cope and Rusty Wallace, who won here in February. Row 10, Jeff Bodine, who won at Sears Point, and Hut Strickland makes his 9th career start at Rockingham. Dale Jarrett, the Daytona 500 winner. Dale Earnhardt has only 1 win here in 30 appearances. Todd Bodine, his 9th start for Butch Mock, and Terry Labonte, who won here in '83. Sterling Marlin finished 5th here a year ago, and T.W. Taylor, the rookie out of the NASCAR Sportsman Speedway Series. Greg Sachs, former Daytona Firecracker winner, and Rick Wilson driving for King Richard. Mike Waltrip ran 4th here in '92, and Wally Dallenbach, the Watkins Glen runner-up. Lake Speed finished 2nd to Neil Bonnet here in 1988, and Ted Musgrave, who was 7th in the February race here. Mike Wallace makes his 3rd Winston Cup start of the season, and Dave Marcus, 52nd race at Rockingham for Dave. Jimmy Horton, 2nd start since his Talladega Flyer, and Loy Allen Jr. Jimmy Means, 34th Rockingham appearance, and Bobby Hillen, former Talladega winner. John Andretti, the Indy 500 veteran, makes his 3rd Winston Cup start in a Billy Hagan car, and Jerry Hill, who's run both Rockingham races, and Kenny Wallace, as you heard, penalized for exceeding the tires to be used limit during practice and qualifying. He ends up at the back of the field with a provisional start. They'll take 2 pace laps. A look at the NASCAR weather radar. Nothing here. A few showers down in Georgia and off the coast. But nothing that will bother us today. Temperature will go in the 60s, we're told. Winds out of the east. Nice day for racing. Mark Martin leads the field around, and you'll be riding with him today. You'll see the roof cam pod mounted atop the roof of his Jack Roush Valvoline Ford. And we'll get 3 different views from Mark's car. There's the over-the-shoulder traditional race cam. And Mark's point of view is much like what you see from our roof cam, looking ahead at the Pontiac safety car. And you'll see if his foot's on the gas or not through our view of the foot cam. Mark accelerates off of and brakes going into the corners here. Also today, Morgan Shepherd in the Citgo Ford Thunderbird of the Wood Brothers of Stewart, Virginia. We'll be carrying onboard cameras showing you this over-the-shoulder shot from our race cam. And there's also a roof cam on Morgan Shepherd's automobile. And finally, the dog leaning out the window, getting fresh air cam, pointed backwards.
And his head knocked off if he's not careful.
On the door sill, yep. And with that, in 1 more lap, we'll be racing. Ford and Chevrolet on the front row. Since Ricky Rudd, they're starting 5th in the Tide Chevrolet. Since Rudd won at Michigan in June, only 4 drivers have been to victory lane. And you know who they are. 41 cars will start today's race on this track, which is just over a mile, 1.017 miles, so we'll run 492 laps today. Kyle Petty set the race record here last year. We'll have our 800 number in operation during today's race, so you can call in your questions to TNN about the running of this race. The call is free, and it's 800-451-7331. Stephanie and Sheila are in Nashville to take your questions and forward them on to us up here in the booth. Again, that's 1-800-451-7331 all this afternoon, toll free. We invite you to participate in today's telecast. From high above the North Carolina Motor Speedway, 2 by 2, they come down for the start. 492 laps.
or dark, whichever comes first.
Can anybody besides Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, and Ernie Irvan find victory lane? Turn 1, Martin with a car length lead. Good, clean start.
There's Ernie Irvan moving into second there.
Ford and 2 Chevys. A little bit of 3 wide in the back straightaway, but clean into turn 3. Across the stripe, Irvan wants the lead.
Neil, that car really hammers down the straightaway, don't it?
Yeah, when you can pass up that straightaway, it makes it a lot easier. And when we saw the 28 car at Charlotte, I think everybody was saying, maybe somebody could race him here, but here he goes, jumping right out front again.
Riding with now second place Mark Martin.
He's fixing to be now third because he's getting caught on the high side up there, Mike. It's going to be fourth before he gets off that corner. Once you move up, there's going to be several cars go under.
2 Chevrolets drag past him. Earnhardt has passed Rusty Wallace in the battle for the Winston Cup. They're back at 18th position.
Both of these guys want to get up front at all possible, but they've got to use some caution. Getting there, that's hard to do on this racetrack.
Battling Darrell Waltrip and Hut Strickland up high. A lot of traffic.
You know, Mike, we heard him talking about the slipping and sliding. That's what it's going to amount to today. The track's got a lot of wear on it. The tires are as good as they can get them, but they just can't get a hold of the track like they want to. After they get some laps in them, it's a pretty good handful.
Now these 2 cars lead the point chase, but Mark Martin is not mathematically out of the chase for the Winston Cup, nor is Dale Jarrett, though that part of this could be decided today.
You see Rusty Wallace, he's just kind of stalking Earnhardt right now. You really, what he wants to do is just keep him in sight and let him open up the holes there and not get himself into a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, you know, buddy, we heard them, both of them say they're going to try to take it easy. Well, directly in front of them, there were 3 abreast going in that first turn, and I'm sure they're getting excited. They don't need any accidents directly in front of them.
5 green laps so far. Ernie Irvan with a 5-car length lead. We're back deep in the pack. Back about 16th position.
That's Joe Nemechek driving the 4-car, the Kodak car this week.
Jimmy Hensley will drive that at Phoenix and Atlanta since this is Joe's 5th Winston Cup start, and he doesn't want to lose his rookie eligibility. Wallace underneath the pass. Here comes rookie Bobby Labonte now, the Maxwell House Ford. Right behind Rusty. They pull up on Derek Cope. Cale Yarborough Bojangles Ford.
Seems like Rusty's content to sit there and let Earnhardt open the door on these passes, and then whenever Earnhardt gets up, go along with him. Just keep him right in sight. There's Earnhardt trying to go inside Cope. Cope makes a good run down there. Can't make that move.
And Wallace settles right in on Earnhardt's bumper again.
You know, everybody's out there running on virtually fresh tires right now. And about 10 to 12 laps from now, you'll start seeing them using more racetrack. And, boy.
Loy Allen used a lot of racetrack right there and got the wall. I wonder if he cut down a tire or something went wrong.
It looked like he just broke loose. I don't know if he had a tire problem or what. When Kenny Wallace got close and loosened him up, looked like.
When these radials break loose, you can count on getting another bite after they slide a little bit. What happened there, he corrected, and it took the second set and went right straight up the racetrack.
Well, we were there watching Kenny Wallace's progress from provisional starting spot 41 as he got alongside Loy Allen Jr. making his 2nd Winston Cup start. Trouble with Allen's car into the wall, and it looks like done for the day. We are under the first caution at lap number 9. Ken Schrader leading Mark Martin, or Ernie Irvan leading Schrader, Martin, Rudd, and Elliott.
You protect yourself inside your car. Protect yourself under the hood, too.
Walmart helps you take care of your car and your budget.
Haviland Formula 3 provides complete engine protection. Or try Haviland Synthetic Motor Oil for better protection for the long run. Either way, you add more life to your car.
And because we always sell for less, Walmart's better protection, too.
Like a seatbelt for your wallet. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
unfiltered Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
Rust. What it can do to the outside of your car, weak, neglected antifreeze can do to the inside. You need Prestone. No matter what happens to the outside, Prestone protects the inside. Prestone stops the rust that stops your car.
One oil filter traps 80% more dirt than the leading competitor. Clearly, that's Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
This place. It's the new Burger King Everyday Value Menu with big Flame World burgers for only 99 cents.
I can't do it myself for 99 cents.
Your favorite Burger King foods at new lower everyday prices, like the croissant combo served hot and fresh for $1.99. Check your Burger King Everyday Value Menu and be sure to try the delicious Flame World Whopper Combo for $2.99.
That's great news for my pocketbook.
Value every day. Have it your way.
You're going to want to come back every day.
Welcome back to Rockingham, where they're doing a little bit of cleanup, picking up a couple pieces of debris down the front straightaway, so we'll stay under caution for a lap or two as they hook up to Loy Allen's car. Let's show you several different angles of what happened between he and Kenny Wallace.
Okay, you see Kenny under Loy Allen there. When they start in, I don't think he knows Kenny's there. They make just a little contact. See the back end wiggle just a little bit there? Well, I can't say that he actually touched him. It looked like he just went in there real hard to keep him from getting under and lost the back end of the car. Okay, he's in real trouble. See it weaving back and forth there? Now he's got the wheels cut. Now watch when he tries to straighten it up here. He turns the wheels to the right and it shoots right straight back up the racetrack. Okay, it's just about to take a set now to really get him a shot towards that wall. There you go.
Will this be in the new Buck Baker Driving School video of...
what not to do. What not to do, right there, yeah.
Maybe that part.
Boy, when it took that second bite, nobody can tell you what that feels like. You go, oh, no.
You see the car wiggling like Buddy's talking about. The natural instinct is turn to the right to correct the slide, and then all of a sudden the right front end takes a bite and just goes directly right.
Show you one more look at it.
There he's headed up. Ooh. You know, he still thought he had a chance to get the car back because he never locked the brakes up till he got 20 foot away. Once it makes that last right turn, you can forget everything else. The brake pedal is a proper piece of equipment to use at that time.
So it's the first caution of the day, and it comes out for Loy Allen. Questions on our 800 line already. 451-7331. 1-800, that's the toll-free number. And let me clear up one from our last race at Dover. The Miller commercial where Rusty Wallace, the question was, did he do his own driving in that? And when Rusty, we were on that cruise this January, he described how they did the commercial. I thought he was telling us how he drove, but he told his fan club in a newsletter that they did use a stunt driver. And a couple of the fan club members wrote in to correct us on that.
He's had enough happen this year. He didn't need to blow a racetrack up.
That's true. From Canada, Robin, who's won the most races other than Richard Petty? David Pearson, 105 career victory. We'll be right back to Rockingham after this.
Next week on TNN Country News, Garth Brooks celebrates his 14th #1 hit, plus a front row seat to an Alan Jackson concert.
TNN Country News, weeknights.
Isn't that a lot better than looking at a bunch of mechanics?
You've been waiting and waiting and waiting to buy a new car. Well, your wait is over. The big one. Only at Williamsburg Ford Lincoln Mercury. Big savings, big rebates, big discounts. Eensy, teensy, weensy little prices on everything. The big one. For a limited time, if they last. Only at Williamsburg Ford Lincoln Mercury. But hurry. Time is flying.
In one lap, we'll go racing here at Rockingham. Let's quickly go down to the garage area. Here's Ralph.
Lloyd, what happened out there?
Really, what happened early in the race, I really just didn't wait for the tires to come in. Got the car a little bit loose going in 3 and just lost it. Rookie deal, and, you know, I'll learn next time and just get a little better.
Big man to admit his mistake.
Loy Allen, who is the first car out of this race. Yesterday, the Pit Crew Challenge here at Rockingham. Buddy Parrott won it for the second time. He won in 1983. Those are the drivers of the cars involved in the annual championship that you'll see take place on TNN.
Mike, they might see these numbers and wonder why 20-something seconds. They do a little bit different than they do on pit stops. They have to wait to come over that wall for these contests.
There's our 800 line, 1-800-451-7331 for your questions. The fellows who did the work: Jackman Scott Robinson, front tire changer Bill Wilburn, right tire changer, rear changer Brad Parrott, Paul Vanderellen loosened the left lug nuts. Todd Parrott carried the tires. Earl Barbin and Rocky Owenby handled gas, and our congratulations to them with a new record. Ernie Irvin on the restart, holding Kenny Schrader to second. Mark Martin at third, Ricky Rudd in fourth, Bill Elliott is fifth. Sixth is Morgan Shepherd, seventh Kyle Petty, eighth is Jeff Gordon as we go back to green. Ninth, the Bandit Harry Gant, and 10th, Brett Bodine.
Ooh, that car of Mark Martin's is sticking right on the bottom of the white line there. He's really working well, and the tires have come in. Now watch him close up on Kenny going in the corner here.
Look at Schrader's car. Boy, not only him, makes you wonder if there's something on the track down there. You saw the 28 get loose, go high, and also the 25 did the same thing.
Kyle Petty and Dale Jarrett also went up high. Anybody that went into that corner, and we're getting caution for that reason, anybody that went into the corner in the high groove ended up way up there. For the lead, Schrader to the stripe, Irvin.
They had about 4 cars behind the leaders, Mike, that nearly knocked. You see the oil going in, like Buddy's talking about, right in that second lane, oil all in that corner.
I'm telling you what, now that's a bad feeling when you get in that.
Ernie Irvin has led 6 of 7 races since joining the Robert Yates team.
Somebody asked me what it was like to hit an oil patch on a racetrack. I said it's like turning in your driveway at home at 80 miles an hour and somebody put a fresh load of sand in it.
Yeah, just doesn't want to make the curve. Irvin really raced hard to hold Schrader back there in second to lead this race.
Since Ricky Rudd won Michigan in June, Bernhardt, Wallace, Irvin, and Martin have been the only drivers to win in Winston Cup competition. Between them, the 4 drivers have won 21 of 27 races. Let's show you a replay of the restart, and watch the top of the screen here. Watch Irvin as he goes off into the corner. There's that slick of oil.
Yep.
And there we go.
You know, when you see this right here, nobody's went in the pits. It makes you wonder who put it down. They're still all out there. I saw Hutch Strickland's car has got a big piece of metal stuck through the grill of his car. I don't know if it busted his oil cooler, but somebody has got to be doing it. And there's not a car left the racetrack yet. If that's the case, they're still putting oil all the way around.
Dave Marcus will pit, as will Rick Wilson. And there is what Neil was talking about.
Wow. Oh, that's the work, the duct
headlight door and the duct.
Yeah, that left front, that's where the oil cooler is. I don't know if he's the guy that has the problem with the oil or who, but somebody's got to be putting out a lot of oil on this racetrack. And the car left the track since we saw that going in turn 1. I don't see any oil coming out.
No. We're corrected. Dave Marcus and Rick Wilson pitted just before going back to green. Okay. And that's a favorite ploy of Marcus, to top off the tank so that if everybody has to stop under green, he gets to lead a few laps. And that pays off at the end of the season. Those 5-point bonuses add up.
Still haven't seen anyone come down pit road. No. And, you know, very seldom. You might see one of these cars be overfilled with oil in the first race and smoke a little bit. Very, very seldom you see it unload a load of oil like that going in a corner. It might not show up now, but it's going to show up in a few minutes if somebody loses that much.
So we're under caution here for the first time today at lap number 19. Riding with Mark Martin. the third-place car after a great battle with Joe Bessie. Yesterday, he won the 200-mile Busch Grand National race. Joe Bessie and Ward Burton.
Like we were questioning where the oil came from, they're going to bring every car down pit road so the inspectors can look under each car and decide which one it is putting the oil down. Then they'll black flag them. Right now, the question is, where did it come from? You don't see this very often, but they're going to make them come by slow speed. All the inspectors are down on their knees on pit road looking under these cars.
Well, it's kind of funny, Neil, because usually one driver would report he's getting oil on the windshield from the car in front of him.
Yeah, they usually report that they are not. They say the guy in front of me is leaking oil, get him out of my way.
Right.
And they're taking a serious look. All the inspectors are checking.
Well, I'm looking at the back of all the cars when they come by here, and I don't see any oil on the back. Usually you can pick it up that way. I don't see any debris on the back of any of the cars so far.
Strickland's car we see there in the shot's the only one I've seen with any kind of damage. And it's that front grill area. The oil cooler is mounted directly behind that for those screens. That's what it's for. But I don't see any oil coming out of this car.
And neither so far do the NASCAR inspectors. The fastest 26 cars in this field are pitted on the front stretch. The balance of the field is on the back straightaway. But as yet no indication as to who might be the culprit.
That might have been somebody's little oil can that was saving for the end of the race for a caution. They threw it out the window early.
Oh, come on. We talked with a number of the mechanics on the Winston Cup teams. We asked Jeff Stouser what his goals are with Rusty Wallace's team.
Well, my goals are to stay with Rusty, and, you know, I want to kind of broaden my capabilities with the team. You know, I want to get more into the fabricating end of it as far as the building of the cars. And also, and being here at the racetrack, you know, I'm learning more and more about the cars and, you know, how the cars are functioning because, you know, there's so much technology in these cars today than years ago.
Flight 241 is ready for immediate departure. All passengers must be.
I just want to freshen up my lipstick. Is it on straight?
Little Caesar's Cheeser, not one but two pizzas loaded with cheese. Choice of two toppings, free crazy bread, just $7.99.
Pizza.
For this guy, any deodorant will do. But these guys need Speed Stick. Antiperspirant that gives 110%, even if you don't. 24-hour protection against wetness. And now Speed Stick deodorant has a powerful new formula to fight odor. Speed Stick. For movers and shakers, the number one, the only one.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank. Okay. Yes, get us suitcases to have one. Yes, sir, right away. Robert, we're out. Get us suitcases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Havoline Formula 3 from Texaco. The same Havoline Formula 3 you can use in your car.
That was quick. Yeah, they had it right down the street. Hey, we got 50.
More Americans trust Napa for everything they need to keep their vehicles running and to help them save, too. Get this Napa power battery for just $29.99 after rebate. An Evercraft 30-piece socket set is just $14.99. And a 3-pack of STP gas treatment is a low $1.99. So run into your nearest Napa Auto Parts store today.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Exclusive live coverage of the AC Delco 500 on the Nashville Network is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. Well, here's the start-finish line where Ernie Irvin led the race back to, and that is where NASCAR determines whether or not you get a lap back. But as far as who leads a given lap, that's determined by the NASCAR scorers in this building at the bottom of your screen just inside of turn 4. And that white line just in front of the scoring stand is where they determine who leads each lap. So at lap 17, as they race back to caution, Kenny Schrader led that lap officially for NASCAR scoring. Now, if he had been battling Ernie Irvan to get back on the lead lap, that call would have been made down at the start-finish line by the NASCAR officials in the tower. There's the time, Neil.
If you look directly in front of that building, that grassy area, that is the clock, right directly in front of the building. They look at that line, they see the clock, they write the time down. It's on that clock. So it's done just like Mike said up here off turn 4.
Here's your top 10 at 23 of 492 laps. 40 cars are on the lead lap. Glenn?
Well, Mike, I checked with one of the NASCAR officials after they brought the cars down pit road to see if they'd found anything. They said no. They thought, as we did, it might have been Hut Strickland because of that damage up there. They asked my brother Dale, who's been running behind Hut, if there was oil coming out. He said, no, he's clean too. I'm standing in the Rusty Wallace pit, and Buddy Parrott leaned over and told me, he said, you know, I'm pretty sure that oil's probably coming from that 3 car. Ralph?
Well, you know, it's pretty amazing that you should say so, because the GM Goodwrench crew down here at the opposite end of the pits was absolutely emphatically certain that it is the Penske Pontiac that is leaking the oil.
Yeah, and Dale could tell that in his rearview mirror. Yeah. Tell me there's not a little gamesmanship goes on here. Right now, Earnhardt is running back about 14th and Wallace 15th, unofficially.
You know, as this points battle comes down, Mike, it's amazing. But every week, every track we go to, these two guys either win in 1st and 2nd, or 9th and 10th, or 21st and 22nd. They just can't get away from each other.
There are now 33 guys, all drivers, all calling in on the radio saying, it's the car in front of me.
Yeah, make them move.
Right. We'll get a restart this time. Turn 1 is cleaned up.
Whoever put that oil down, we'll find out here in just a few minutes. I don't know how long it takes for a motor to blow when it loses a lot of oil, but it's going to show up.
Neil, you're correct. I'll tell you, with that much oil letting out, it won't be long before we know which one it is.
There is no gauge to measure how much oil is left in the engine, but an oil pressure gauge to show that what's in there is circulating. Through the speedy dry down at turn 1, you see speedy dry coming up off the tires of Schrader's car. Back straightaway, and Ernie Irvan has legged it out. High gear.
He's speedy dried away from him when that thing took off.
I hate to say this, but I think I see a little bit of oil down in the bottom lane there off of some car just a few seconds ago.
Well, we'll see in a second.
Yes, Denner.
Yeah, there goes Mark Martin way up the racetrack, and he saves it. And Kyle Petty. And Earnhardt. And a bumper cover just flew off one of the cars at turn 2. We're going to race back to the caution again, perhaps.
No caution yet.
Yes,
there it is. There it is.
There's a new oil line all the way around. So like Buddy said, somebody is still putting it down. And that's a case of it doesn't do it except at high RPM.
There's a report that it might be Harry Gant's car that's doing this.
Well, the funny thing is the oil went down while we were under caution, not under green.
They say it's a rear end grease. It might be a pump. You know, when it really gets after it, it pumps a little harder and throws a little extra grease out.
Let's show you once again what happened down here in turn 1. Watch Earnhardt's car.
You see the oil line right behind Gant. He's right in there behind Gant.
Look at where Kyle Petty is up in the top groove. He's about to go for a ride here.
Well, it's going to be a combination of oil and somebody hitting on that left rear quarter, it looks like.
There's Dick Trickle.
Yeah,
just ahead of Kyle.
The car in the bottom got in the oil, slid up, hit Kyle, and sent Kyle flying. But
That's Jimmy Spencer.
Yeah, there comes Earnhardt in behind. Runs into the back of the 1 car, it looks like. Goes sailing up the track. Rusty's going low.
There's that bumper cover.
Spencer's bumper cover, the 12 car does not have the bumper cover anymore, so it's him.
Everybody was able to recover.
It wasn't only that group we were watching. The leader, the 28 car, almost wrecked. The first 4 guys through went all over the track.
There's the damage we were talking about on the back of Jimmy Spencer's car there. You can see the rear bumper part of it's missing.
Second caution of the day. NASCAR is going to have to sort this out. Third caution, excuse me. And we'll be right back to Rockingham after this.
Why use Valvoline motor oil? It's the #1 choice of Indy 500 chief mechanics, Daytona 500 chief mechanics, NHRA mechanics, and Baja 1000 mechanics. For use in their race cars and in their own cars. Any more questions? People who know use Valvoline.
the brand. In the West, it's the way a man marks what's his. We're the beef people, and our WD brand is on every steak we sell. It means our U.S. choice beef has been specially aged and trimmed to ensure more flavor, more tender, juicy beef. WD brand, the mark of quality from Winn-Dixie, the beef people.
People care about the world these days. They just don't want me to put another toxic antifreeze in their car. I mean, who needs toxic? So what if it protects to 70 below? Any antifreeze can do that. Tell me that it's different, safer. Tell me nothing protects better, and it's biodegradable. I mean, what if their dog gets into it? Or their kids? This is serious. It's a changing world. Poison's out.
New Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze.
At Pinehurst, North Carolina, nearby, the World Golf Hall of Fame and some of the world's best golf courses. And beautiful scenery. Not far from the North Carolina Motor Speedway, just north of Rockingham. T.W. Taylor was called into the pits for consultation and a look to see if indeed he was the car dropping fluid, but they've sent him back out on the racetrack.
This is a big case of whodunit.
Let's try to get a word with Mark Martin, see what he went through up there. Neil?
Mark, this is Neil Bonner with TNN. Can you hear us?
Hey, Neil.
I tell you what, man, you took a wild ride. Somebody's put that oil down, and they can't seem to find out who it is. It must be pretty tough.
Yeah, I thought we had it under control after we got by the first time and got through without crashing. But then, you know, they restarted the thing, and there was a shiny stripe going into one again, and we almost wrecked again. So maybe we can get this thing figured out and get some racing done here pretty soon.
Yeah, they're showing right now, Mark, you going in the bottom. You did a good job. That thing right up at the wall and that loose stuff. They're pulling in car one after another. Now, hopefully they can find that thing for you guys.
It's going to be all right here in a minute. We get strung out here and get running. Just somebody's losing some oil or some butter that we can't, NASCAR can't figure out who it is.
All right, Mark, good luck.
Thank you.
Semi-course.
So we're under caution here. Third time today, 2 for oil on the track, and the first caution for Loy Allen, the only car out of the race. We're going to take another lap under yellow here and have another look, because when the cars came straight down pit road where the track is flat, nobody dumped any oil. But when they go into turn 1 where the track is banked, that's where apparently somebody is leaking, and there's a NASCAR inspector down there now to have a look.
Yeah, Mike, there could be another side of that, too. Oil pressure. When these things are idling and running at this speed here, they're running about 50 to 60 pounds of oil pressure. At 8,000 or 8,800 RPM, they're running 80 to 90 pounds of oil pressure, and that leak will develop into one of them oil lines if it's something loose or they've got some other type of problem. So it might be something that won't show up until they're at full speed. What these engine guys like to have is 10 pounds of pressure per 1,000 RPM. Just turn it 7,000, they want 70. If you turn it 8, they want 80 pounds. So the more you turn it, the more pressure you get.
There's a congratulatory wish there on the dashboard of Mark Martin's car for one of his buddies.
Sammy Kershaw and his wife had a little baby.
Emily. So welcome, Emily, to Winston Cup Racing. Mark, of course, appeared in one of Sammy's videos, as did that race car not too long ago.
That's pretty neat, isn't it?
Yeah. This could be a new video.
Well, let's see. Let's see first if it has a happy ending. We're going back to green.
Then the drivers go down in turn 1 and say, will it turn?
32 laps, let's find out. Mark Martin on that last restart slid from 3rd back to 5th. So Ricky Rudd's the new 3rd place car. Here comes Earnhardt flying up the outside around Kyle Petty. Picks off 2, goes after Dick Trickle as they go to turn 3. You're with Mark Martin, the 5th place car, and here comes Earnhardt. 10th.
Well, this is when it's going to be critical, going back in turn 1. Did they put it down again? I think I see the 3rd stripe down there.
Irvin takes it in hard and deep, and Squirrely hangs on to it. They swirled it around a little there, Neil.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm sure these guys aren't sure yet. They've got clean running. But speaking of clean, they're going to allow one more man over pit wall on the caution to clean these windshields from all this oil early in the race.
Late in the day, you'll see the effect that has when the sun gets low over turn 1. Earnhardt racing Brett Bodine in the Quaker State Ford.
One thing about Earnhardt, I know he's running for the championship and all, but he drives one way, wide open. He's fun to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, he's tiptoeing through the oil.
Yeah, you got it.
Earnhardt is in 9th. Rusty Wallace is 13th. Mark Martin, third in the points, is fifth in this race.
Doesn't seem like they have that problem with that oil like they've been having.
I can tell everybody it's not Harry Gant that's losing the oil because he's running a lane higher than everybody else.
Yeah,
So it couldn't be him.
Nobody's driven where Harry's going.
Yeah, you're running Harry's oil after you've already wrecked.
Yeah. On the way back down. Yeah. There's that pack. There's Wallace, 13th place. Didn't quite get as good a restart as did Earnhardt. See Gant way up high.
Yep, old Harry Gant Groove is coming back. If this track gets slick today, as a lot of drivers are talking about, they're going to be playing Harry's game at Rockingham. He'll get up there in that top, he'll wear them out.
Jimmy Spencer underneath Dick Trickle. Trickle had his best start of the year in the Mannheim auction Chevy. Now Rusty closing in. This will be for 12th place.
Yeah, what they're probably doing is trying to avoid that oil. I'm sure that's why Harry Gant's moving up in the racetrack here. There was a ring of oil around the bottom of the racetrack.
Yeah, there's a lot of drivers that just don't like to use that part of the track. Harry does not hesitate to get up there.
Just don't bother Earnhardt, though. He runs wherever he can catch it.
Takes the low side on Jeff Gordon. 7th place at stake here.
Gordon making a good run on the high side of the racetrack. Earnhardt gets under him right here. Looks like he's got him enough this time. He can pull back up in front of him off this corner, but Gordon stayed right with him through turn 1 and 2.
Let's make that for 8th place. Earnhardt through. Hale moves up on Morgan Shepherd. Up front, Irvin has a 4-car length lead on Kenny Schrader, and they have 10 car lengths on Ricky Rudd in 3rd. Then it's Bill Elliott, Mark Martin, Harry Gant in 6th. Morgan Shepherd is 7th. There's the lead differential.
Schrader actually seems to be cutting it down some, Mike. You know, Buddy, just a few laps ago, looked like the 28 car had more than this on him.
Oh, yeah. One thing about Kenny Schrader, he runs the car really hard down in the corner, and right now the racetrack's good for that. Now, when it gets a little slicker, he may have to work on the car a little bit, but he's flying right now.
Here we're on Morgan Shepherd's car, the Citgo car. Morgan working the bottom line, slides right up that outside wall. Look at this big dog leg in this front straightaway. Big bow going down at turn 1. Easiest entry here. Big wide entry. Oh, he's sliding up high right up off the corner there.
Shepherd celebrates a birthday this week. He'll be 52, won up at Atlanta this spring.
Boy, this is shades of a week or so ago. We'll see Ernie Irvin out there just kind of strolling along. The car looks like it never flipped. Right around the bottom of the racetrack.
Super handling down both straightaways.
Oh, yeah. They make some horsepower in that car.
We get a lot of views today from our Ray Vestas aerial coverage. Ray Vestas, best in brakes, bringing you these pictures, helicopter mounted, chasing around the speedway. Battle for 3rd, Bill Elliott. Showing some muscle in the Budweiser Ford of Junior Johnson, pulling up on Ricky Rudd. There's Harry Gant closing in, and Mark Martin.
You know, when you see Elliott's car, you just keep waiting for him to break out of it and win races. He's been so good in anything he's ever driven, and this is a good racetrack for him. You just keep waiting for him to break out and win.
Winless this year. Can't remember the last time a Junior Johnson car went this deep into the season without a win.
I'm looking at Harry Gant. They paved that upper part of this racetrack just for him.
Well, let me tell you what, when he gets to these 3 guys here, they're not going to be in his way.
No.
They're down there running around the bottom. Now watch Harry. He'll run off that top side, and watch what a run he gets from running high. He has so much momentum built up, he just drove right under the 6 car. He'll probably take it high on the outside here. He could care less about that bottom side. And watch the run he gets. When he goes high, he gets so much momentum, he'll jump on him off that corner.
3 wide, will he do it? Yes.
Harry says, man, they're up in my groove.
Yeah, Ricky Rudd got up there for a minute, and here comes Mark Martin on the bottom.
Look, Bob, we have a spin down in turn 3.
3 cars are in it. 1 car way down to the bottom of the track apron.
15 car. Looks like the 15 spun off the apron. Yep. Lake speed.
And that'll bring out caution number 4.
He did lose a lap. The leader just went by him.
And there's Irvin back to the line.
That's going to upset Gant. He was just getting his momentum going up there.
Yes. Martha from Texas called in, wanted to know how points are determined when somebody is down a lap or laps. Makes no difference. It's where you finish in the race where you get your points, not how many laps you complete.
With the 15 car here, he's trying to... He did lose that lap. He's going to get back up there in front. They're pits, so he's caught to get around the front side.
Eric wants to know what happens if the championship is tied. I think the tie is broken by who has the most wins.
Most wins.
And if you're tied there, it's who has the most second places. And if you have to go down to who has the most 38th places, that's what they'll do. But there will not be co-champions.
See what we learn every week, Neil.
Kyle Petty?
Yeah.
Well, the leaders, a bunch
Everybody's
of leaders.
coming in.
It was seeing Kyle coming. I thought Kyle was turning in, but it looks like all the leaders coming in now.
A bunch of cars deeper on the lead lap, of course, pitted on the backside. See how many of them stay out here. Chassis adjustment on the right rear for Ernie Irvan. Four tires for Ken Schrader.
Well, boy, that 2-car beat the 3-car out just then. Earnhardt come in first, but he went out behind the 2-car. I tell you, Buddy Parrott and him have really made a difference in Rusty Wallace's positions this year.
Backstretch pits.
I don't think it was any shock when they won the victory race yesterday, because just week in and week out, that 2-car, they tear them up on pit road.
They had to push start Dick Trickle. They got him going again there in the Mannheim car. Wallace's stop 18.8 seconds. Earnhardt's 20.1 seconds, 2.3. 1.3 rather than the difference. And you'll see the difference when you see how they line up on the racetrack. One spot apart. Jeff Bodine now peels off to make his stop on the backstretch pit side.
Yeah, that spin put him a lap down, so he had to wait an extra lap. The 15 car going in a lap later.
Now, there's a lot of questions about whether Ernie Irvan took his points that he earned in the 4-car to the 2018. Really, there's two different sets of point standings.
Exactly. He gets the driver's part, he takes that with him, but the car owner points, they stay with the particular car.
So Ernie Irvan, or rather Lake Speed went to the back. That's not Jeff Bodine, excuse me. Speed in the 15 car. We'll show you again what happened to Lake Speed up there.
That's kind of the tail end there. I think he lost control going in the corner there. Nobody else was involved with it.
We've already seen one car earlier lose the rear end, get down in turn 3. Get in there real hard with loose, it's going to come around.
To follow up, Ernie keeps the points he earned in the 4-car and whatever points he earns in the 28-car in his bid to be the Winston Cup champion. Robert Yates, as car owner in the NASCAR car owner points, he keeps all the points Davey Allison earned in the 28-car and the points that Ernie Irvan earns in the 28-car. And the car owner points count toward things like winner's circle, car owner bonus plans, things like that. Driver points, of course, count toward the Winston Cup. So the points do not transfer from car owner to car owner. And a driver, however, does take with him the points he earns. So Dick Trickle and Jimmy Hensley will have points in about 80 different cars, but they all add up toward the end of the season.
By the way, I think Jimmy Hensley will be a fine select to put in the 4-car. I think he'll do quite well at Phoenix. He runs well on flat track.
Runs good out there, I'm sure, buddy.
Yep. Now here's one. There's Rusty Wallace just ahead of Dale Earnhardt as they came off pit road, and we're going to get a restart here. 48 laps complete of 492. Lake Speed will try to get back on the lead lap from Ernie Irvan. As they come down to the stripe, nobody's touching Ernie Irvan on restarts today.
I tell you, he had a good pit stop. Look at Bill Elliott right there in second place. They got him in and out of there.
I was just fixing to say, to make up a lap on that 28 car, you'd have to get up early in the morning.
Good indication of kind of power you deal with that 28. As you go up through the gears, that's not a whole lot of handling. And as that thing accelerates up through the gears, look, he pulls a 5 or 6 car lengths as he goes up through the gears, so plenty of power.
See Bill Elliott there, just by Schrader. There's Schrader up under him.
Schrader
and Ford scoot down the straightaway.
Schrader in the Kodiak car, Mark Martin right behind him.
Ooh, they're getting close right here. Looks like they might have touched just a little bit.
Cosmetic contact, if any.
Yeah, it might just been real close. That outside lane's hard to work. Elliott's doing a good job understand where he's at with that. He's trying to hold off Mark Martin now.
They're losing ground to leader Ernie Irvin, 1.7 seconds back of Irvin.
Look at Bill driving right up, trying to go right on by Schrader again. Drive down the outside of somebody like that, you're just kind of saying, boy, I hope this thing sticks.
Look who's right behind him down on the bottom. Here again.
What he probably did is adjust his chassis to get back on the bottom. You know, a lot of people add bite when they stop in or wedge in the car, and that tightens the car up some, and you're able to run down on the bottom part of the racetrack.
Schrader and Lake Speed now side by side. Mark Martin moves up. Elliott's going to have to look to the low groove to get underneath the lap car of Lake Speed.
There comes Mark. He's going to get around this lap car. Look at the back end of the car wiggling around on the 15. He said earlier it was a little bit loose. Boy, look again. He had the back end hung out. There's a 2 car and a 3 going at it.
Earnhardt's going to try up high.
And he's going to try. There's the 3 car going to try to pass the 33 on the outside. 33 usually uses most of that outside.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get on outside of him. You'd end up in Charlotte.
There's where Earnhardt's come since the start of the race. From 16th at 10 laps to 7th right now.
And Lake Speed's up there going, man, I'd like to be in that bottom lane right now. He's losing position after position there.
There's Rusty making the pass. Along with Ricky Rudd coming by 15, the lap car.
And Earnhardt taking a run at Harry Gant. 4th place.
There goes Earnhardt up under Harry Gant's car, and right behind him is Rusty. Rusty seems to be playing checkers Earnhardt style right now. He's just watching every move he makes and just stays with him.
So with Wallace now in 5th, being Earnhardt's shadow, you ride with Morgan Shepherd at 56 laps. Ernie Irvin leading Schrader, Martin, Elliott, and Earnhardt.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSC street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSC, only from Goodyear.
You protect yourself inside your car. Protect yourself under the hood, too.
Walmart helps you take care of your car and your budget.
Haviland Formula 3 provides complete engine protection. Or try Haviland Synthetic Motor Oil for better protection for the long run. Either way, you add more life to your car.
And because we always sell for less, Walmart's better protection, too.
Like a seatbelt for your wallet. Walmart. Always the low price. Always.
Next week on TNN Country News, Garth Brooks celebrates his 14th #1 hit, plus a front row seat to an Alan Jackson concert.
TNN Country News, weeknights.
Don't be a victim of someone else's negligence. For immediate action in a personal injury case, call Joseph Stallute. He'll get you excellent results. Joseph Stallute's been winning cases and getting the best settlement for over 19 years. So if you need legal help, don't wait. Call Joseph Stallute immediately and he'll take care of the rest. Remember, for immediate service, excellent results, and the best settlement in your case, call Joseph Stallute. He's ready to serve you 24 hours a day.
Hi, race fans. Next time you're at the race, listen to your favorite driver with a Bearcat 200 XLT scanner. We offer the lowest prices, free volume modification, and free frequency membership with each purchase. We also stock scanner headsets, bags, antennas, splitters, and antennas. Not ready to buy? Stop by and check out our new scanner rental program.
Everything for the race fan. Victory Lane Race Fan Store. It's like being on the team.
Even between pit stops, there's lots to do as the teams line up at the Unocal pumps for some fresh, 108 octane?
Yeah, and I tell you what they do. They maintain that just exactly the same because they jet these engines so close.
Same fuel is used at all the Winston Cup races.
Same octane, keep it just exactly the same every track.
Yeah, and they take how much gas they put in that can so they'll know exactly what kind of gas mileage they're getting also.
And here's Harry Gant. He's getting position mileage. Down to bottom, sweeps back up the top.
He's the only guy here that really runs 520 miles in a 500-mile race.
He ran about 240 yesterday in the 200 mile by working the top through.
A lot of guys' cars will go away from them, and they'll have to chase it up there. Gant goes up there, and then there's no place left to chase. He just uses that part of the track. Here in Dover, Delaware, he's done it a lot.
Harry Gant has led over 1,000 laps here in Winston Cup competition, but he's never won. Yet.
I know one time he was real close.
Yes.
I beat him by 6 inches, and I thought that was close as I've ever had.
There goes Gant. Right up the side of Earnhardt there. That outside groove's really fast right now.
It is for Harry Gant.
And I'll tell you what, just like when somebody's doing that, Gant was doing that, and the guys he's racing with has to give him that room out there. Coming off that corner, they say, well, we know he's coming. You got to give him a car length out there to work with.
Here's your Napa Field standing update where your favorite driver's running.
Up.
Oh, boy.
Greg
Bobby
Sachs
Hillin and Greg Sachs.
Coming off turn 2.
Fifth caution of the day.
Gant said, just about the time I get this thing rolling, we have a caution. And speaking of rolling, this guy was checked out. 28 car was gone.
Ernie Irvan has now led 390 of the last 397 laps in NASCAR racing. Give or take a lap.
There'll be a lot of damage on both those cars on the nose section there on Bobby Hillen's car, and there's Greg Sachs' car all eat up. Looks like a bulldog bit right front on it.
I tell you what, the 28
needs to be reupholstered there. I think that front corner of the furniture car.
Oh, my.
I know.
Oh.
Miss Hillen moving around in there.
You know how many?
Go ahead, tell the joke.
No.
You got something in mind.
It was worse.
We're going to give demerit points today for these little comments, Mike.
Can't get the thing recranked.
Everybody's coming to pit road.
Looks like mass confusion, but it's kind of controlled mass confusion.
It really is. Every player knows just where he has to go, what job he has to do. Keep an eye out for traffic and get the job done. Earnhardt's car is moving away quickly.
Well, he moved away quickly, but he's up on the very top end of pit road. That's one of the penalties he pays for that bad qualifying effort.
Oh, man, look at this. We almost had a wreck right there.
Yeah, he and Rusty were side by side as Rusty came out and will fall in line behind Dale.
Well, they're not through yet. They still could wreck. Look at the tires and stuff. It's amazing to me that when you come in and out, there are more people who run over and bounce off of people.
.2-second pit stop for Ernie Irvan, 18.9 for Rusty Wallace. We'll be right back.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it, if you can.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank. Okay. Jeff, get us suitcases. I have one. Yes, sir, right away. Robert, we're out. Get us suitcases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco.
That was quick. Yeah, they had it right down the street.
The same Haviland Formula 3 you can use in your car.
Get a free Burger King meal when you buy a case of Haviland Formula 3. But hurry, a deal this tasty can't last long.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSC street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSC, only from Goodyear.
If it were just to win more trophies, we wouldn't be here. But there's a side to Ford racing you won't find in the sports page. It's learning how to make your car safer by racing 200 miles an hour in heavy traffic. And learning how a granite roller coaster can make your truck even tougher. Because when it comes to developing technology for your Ford, there shouldn't be any limits. That's why we race. Of course, we're not about to give back all our trophies. Have you driven a Ford lately?
TNN Motorsports exclusive presentation of the AC Delco 500 is brought to you by Ford and your Ford truck dealer. Ford Trucks, the best never rest.
This is a standard Winston Cup 4-speed transmission. Crew member Joey Knuckles on the Texaco number 28 car has been working intensely on their transmission setup. He has found some tricks that are really helping Ernie Irvan get these rocket starts that we're seeing. Those rocket starts are keeping them out front and making the difference in the last few races.
I don't doubt the transmission is good, but when you mash the throttle on that 28, an automatic transmission will get a pretty good start in it.
And that transmission don't jerk the front wheels off the ground.
I wouldn't think so.
We're going green. Lap 71, green flag is back out. It's Mike Wallace down to the inside, the Duron Paints FDP brakes Ford. And look at Ernie Irvan already out there well in front of Mark Martin. Call it 5 car lengths out of turn 2.
I tell you what, that transmission is making that much difference. Joey Knuckles can sell a bunch of them.
Yes. Horse, power, and gear.
Just talking how many laps the 28 had already led, Mike. He'll be the first guy to go in the penalty box for stinking up races. If he gets once they get to the lead, he checks out.
Look at Earnhardt, how close he is up under Schrader there. You talk about taking the air off the spoiler. Now it's about as close as you can come to taking it off.
There couldn't have been any air left there. And there's Rusty Wallace watching.
Yeah, he's been Earnhardt's shadow all day. Here's a look at Kyle Petty battling Harry Gant. This is back at 8th place. And Jimmy Spencer right in there.
Well, you know, Rusty used his head there. Who else better would you want to work through traffic? The guy that might have to take the chance and clear it out for him.
Now Earnhardt has passed Schrader.
Rusty's car seems good enough early that he can get down there with him. There he goes. Right in that bottom lane.
And there he goes right up.
Yeah, he couldn't quite get up under Schrader.
Schrader's car looks like he might have just a little bit of push because he jumped right out to the outside lane there. And the 2 car was able to get up to the door, but that was about it.
But on both of these teams, the 2 car we're looking at here, Rusty Wallace, Earnhardt, and all these guys, they're going with more gear than you would think people would go with in championship runs. They said, hey, to win the championship now, you got to run hard. So pulling a lot of gear in both these cars.
You see Bill Elliott after that pit stop, he made some adjustments on the chassis, and he looks like he's really running well right now, too.
Now, conventional wisdom. The last couple of months of this season have seen the guys who like to drive loose race cars, Wallace, Earnhardt, Martin, and Irvan, be the guys in victory lane. But here, you got Bill Elliott right up there with him, and Elliott is not considered such a loose car driver.
I got to tell everybody that he's a lot better race car driver than he showed up lately. I tell you, it's all right now. It's just a combination that's not working. It's certainly not Bill Elliott or not Junior Johnson's team. It's just something that has to mesh and get together.
Well, I think one thing you run into, Mike, when you was talking about, there's some guys who know just to manhandle a car when it's loose. Somebody like Elliott that's got a lot of finesse, how he works the throttle. What happens when you have to manhandle it, the tires go away. You can't get a grip on the track. Somebody like Bill can ease along, work the throttle easily, not spin the tires, and he can kind of fight the problem in a different manner and still come out up front.
Speaking of finesse, look at Harry Gandy wanting to get back up there again in that high line. If he does, he'll start manhandling just exactly what you're talking about. Now, he can drive one sideways or any other way.
Well, no wonder he's going. He's mad somebody else is up there in his place.
There goes
There's Rusty up there running his groove.
I tell you, Bill Elliott's car is really handling well on the bottom of the racetrack. You see him going by Rusty Wallace or trying to.
Well, I think they're finding something from that top lane we saw from that shot earlier, how much momentum they get right there. coming off the corner. But look at Elliott, and I'm telling you, that thing ain't no slouch up off that corner.
And there comes Mr. Excitement into a shot there. Jimmy Spencer in the 92 car.
Bumperless, number 12. He lost it earlier.
Side by side, Elliott and Wallace continue that battle for 5th place.
To run this line here, the guy on the outside has to run deeper in the corner, and then the guy on the bottom usually gets the jump up right in the center, and then you hope the guy on the outside makes a run down the straightaway. So it's a straight out. Outside guy runs in harder. Inside guy tries to get off a little harder.
Neil, what he's actually doing there, he's cutting Bill Elliott's approach off the corner where he has to pinch the car, and he don't get a good smooth run out towards the wall there.
Yep. There's the bumper we're talking about, missing off the back of the 12. But there's really, even though this bumper is laid on the ground, it's really a fiberglass panel. The roll bars and the protective stuff is still on the back of the car.
Right, that's the real bumper. This is just, like you say, a skin or a cover.
Just strictly cosmetic. The bumper, the protective stuff with the fuel cell is still on there.
Or NASCAR wouldn't leave him out there.
Here comes Gant. He's going around Elliott up on top.
Now, back when they had metal bumpers on these cars, Bobby Allison won the 82 Daytona 500 in what was called Bumper Gate.
Guess who he beat?
One Buddy Baker?
No, he'd like to cut my head off. Excuse me. He beat me one time in Talladega when the bumper come off, but he lost one in Daytona too, and that thing come back across the top of my car. And the last thing I remember looking at was the bottom of the brake pedal.
The Bumper Gate is because some people thought that bumper was extra heavy and it was kind of designed to disappear to lighten the car up. Some people thought that.
Well,
NASCAR didn't agree.
Even in testing, that bumper, you got to think that bumper hangs down. It's like a parachute back there.
Yep.
The air comes under the car, and it's got those lips on that bumper that slows it down. You take the back bumper off these things, they're a lot more aerodynamic. And that really is a big increase in a place like Daytona.
Folks, don't write in. I didn't even suggest that Bobby Allison had anything to do with that. I did not mean that. He just happened to lose the bumper. Okay?
Just because there was a cord you pulled in a bumper. No.
Gant and Rusty Wallace battle pretty hard here. And Gant's going to move up 2 slots. He got Bill Elliott, and he just got Rusty Wallace. There's Spencer now side by side with, or rather Elliott underneath Wallace. Spencer just ahead of him.
One thing about it, Gant wrecks in the corner. He hasn't got near as far to go as the rest of them. Before he hits the wall, he gets up there and flirts with that thing all the time.
Well, that's why Richard Petty always used to say he ran that real high line at Daytona. He says, if something happens, there's ain't far to go.
Yeah, but you get there just the same amount of speed.
Right. Gant up high, he'll lap past Lake Speed.
I'll tell you what this does, though. We were joking when we talked about, look here for the lead right here. The 6 cars ran the 28 down. He's up under him right here. Maybe he's fixing to shift gears in the 28. But Mark's car got a little loose. The 6 got a little loose on that inside.
Bernie may need to find a little overdrive. Boy, he didn't give Mark an inch cutting back in.
Yeah, he's going to see if he can loosen the 6 up. Stick that nose up under him. Just check him. That was just a check right there by the 28. Cram him up on the rear, see if he can break him loose.
Well, you can't get that 6 car any looser than it was at Charlotte 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but what Mark Martin did, he kept digging. He had the throttle down.
Finish second.
You know, Ernie might have a pushing problem on his car right now, and boy, that's aggravating here when you can't turn the car and make it stay at the bottom. I noticed he washed it up right at the center. And maybe he just wants to follow a little bit and even the heat up in the tires so he can make another run at him. Up, yeah, it didn't take long to even the tires up.
I don't know if Mark just wants to lead a lap.
Well, he's 3rd in the points, Neil, and he still has a mathematical shot to catch Earnhardt or Wallace for 1st or 2nd in the standings. So leading a lap was worth an important 5 points to Mark Martin.
Yeah, talking about leading laps. Look directly behind that 6. That's Earnhardt in the 3.
Where did
if anybody wants to lead a lap, he does.
He's thinking 5 points right now, believe me.
Well, he got 5 at Charlotte. Rusty Wallace did not.
Wow. Let me tell you what, Mark Martin is I mean, when it's time for him to get going, he goes. He knows Earnhardt's going to try to get up there and lead that race, and he pulled over and gave him that running. And Mark's having a good little race on the race course.
Okay, that's it. Mr. Excitement. That's what they called him when he won the Modified Championship. Jimmy Spencer, the number 12. Here again, tried it low, tried it high. Against Kenny Schrader and Spencer. Spencer involved in controversy yesterday toward the end of the Busch Grand National race. Joe Bessie, running third, came up on Spencer, who was 1 lap behind the leaders. Spencer was trying to lap Bobby Daughter, who was 2 laps down, wouldn't move over. He and Bessie got together a couple of times, and there was an altercation after the race as well.
Let's get ready to rumble was the call at the end of the race. And they did. There was a couple of NASCAR officials over there when that happened, and there were a couple of guys that hit the ground, so there's going to be a few things said about that before it's over.
I think so. We'll have more on that later on.
Neil, Earnhardt's got a fire belt under him. He's catching Ernie Irvin really fast now. The car is right on the bottom.
And we'll see if he can get past him when we come back. TNN Motorsports live coverage from Rockingham continues after this.
This is friction. Metal grinding on metal. Friction can wear your engine down. Friction can shorten its life. This is Pennzoil, the friction-fighting motor oil that protects more engines than any other motor oil in America. Choose Pennzoil. Use Pennzoil, and you'll get quality engine protection in each and every drop. Pennzoil. Performance, protection, quality.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSC street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSC, only from Goodyear.
Riders in the Sky.
Hear a cowboy yodel and a song of open range.
And the Dixie Chicks.
You'll never find my love falls short.
They get together on the Texas Connection from Fiesta, Texas, TNN Monday. Next Sunday, live, only on TNN Motorsports. Last year, Bill Elliott saw his points lead go up in smoke as a cracked cylinder head opened the door for his competition and set the stage for the closest points race in history. This year's lead belongs to Earnhardt, but Mark Martin's late season surge has been fierce and relentless. And in Winston Cup racing, anything can happen. It's the Slick 5500, next Sunday live, only on TNN Motorsports.
Welcome back to Rockingham. Mike Joy with Neil Bonnet and Buddy Baker. Glenn Jarrett and Ralph Shaheen on pit road today. And there's the battle for the lead. Earnhardt took it. Irvin wanted it back, and here comes Jimmy Spencer.
Harry Gant pulled right in the middle of this deal, too.
You see Jimmy Spencer going on the outside there, and Harry Gant just in the higher line up there. We're going to have a good race, it looks like.
Well, Spencer was on the outside. Where was Harry?
He tried it a little bit further out.
Yeah.
There's 3 lanes. It's a good indication how wide this track is. There's 3 workable lanes, but right here it goes back to 1 or 1.5. You can spread them out 3 wide in the corners, but you got to thin them out getting down in the, as you start in the center right there. Look here, all over the racetrack. Schrader's getting up there in it.
And down the straightaway, single file again. Earnhardt, Spencer in the 12 car in second. Gann in third, Irvin in fourth, Schrader in fifth, and Mark Martin sixth. Took Dale Earnhardt 96 laps to get from 13th to the front. Actually started back in 22nd position. And here comes Spencer.
That is impressive, passing on the outside lane there. I'm telling you, that's strong.
We just talked how good it was to get rid of bumpers. They keep this up, these guys won't start with bumpers on them.
Spencer and Harry Gant go past Earnhardt.
Well, Spencer's getting the job done right here now. Goes Gann in that top side.
In the chase for the Winston Cup, every driver who leads a lap or more gets 5 bonus points for being the race leader at some time. So Earnhardt has collected those 5 points, and now he drifts back to 3rd place. Perhaps not voluntarily, but it is Spencer and Gant now.
It's always good to get those points in the bank. You know you got them then. That's a little more comfortable to run in third, not to know that you have them already in the bank.
And thus far, for the 2nd race in a row, Earnhardt has led a lap, and Rusty Wallace yet has not.
And y'all made a good point a while ago. You said a guy that can drive a loose race car. Well, that 12 car, there's nobody here that can run a car sideways any better than Jimmy Spencer can.
I tell you, that line Gant's running up there, we joke about that, but you gear these cars up to run around the bottom of this racetrack. You run high up there, and you're running another 100 feet down in that corner and rattling that motor a little bit more. It actually abuses that engine some more running that top lane of that track.
Here's Brett Bodine, Neil, who has moved up a few spots ahead of Bill Elliott. They're right behind Kenny Schrader. That will put Brett in 7th place in the Quaker State car. And Mark Martin has dropped back to 9th position behind Bill Elliott.
And right there behind Mark, you see the car of Rusty Wallace. We know that his crew's told him now that Earnhardt's led a lap, so I'm sure Rusty's wanting to try to get there and lead a lap also, keep this thing close.
You know, too, Rusty can count on his crew to gain him a few spots on pit road. They've been doing it week in and week out. Won the pit crew championship here yesterday. Schrader squeezes between Jerry Hill and Ernie Irvin there.
We just had it. We picked up a radio transmission for the 6th car. The pit said, "I'm real loose." We could have told him that for him because Mark, we had a shot inside the car. We're going, Mark is really hustling the car. He's the type of guy, he can get so bad loose, most guys have to quit with it, and Mark will keep digging. See him working that thing to the right, working that wheel left, right, and chase that rear end all the way through the corner. That's one reason when somebody catches him, he lets them right on by and jumps in behind him. He doesn't need anybody directly on that rear bumper because it really gives him a fit.
Now, folks, these things don't feel like your street car when you're driving like that. They all have power steering, so it's not so hard to turn the wheel, but you get a lot of feedback from what those tires are doing, so they can chase that car through the corner like that.
You see Ernie Irvin way up high on the racetrack now. A while ago, he had the handle. He was able to run right around the bottom, but he's starting to move up into Gantville now.
Is that a suburb of Taylorsville?
Yeah.
Moving around Jimmy Means.
They keep wanting to come off that corner 3 wide. You just can't do it.
Right.
You can spread them out in the middle, but you got to narrow it up going in and off. I'm not going to say they can't do it. They'll all do it before the day's over.
First time that Jimmy Spencer has led at Rockingham in his career. In the Meineke Mufflers Ford of Bobby Allison and team. There's Harry Gann up in the high groove.
Mike, you mentioned something earlier. We're just thinking about that bumper flying off. You talked about weight. They weigh these cars before the race. They weigh them after the race. If that car should be light after the race, they have to take in consideration that it did lose it in an accident. If you purposely drop something off a car, they'll disqualify you. But, you know, Spencer's racing the car as hard as he can go. And that little piece fell off car probably didn't weigh 10 pounds.
But it freed up a lot of area under the back bumper there. We'll see if it's a factor later on. Jimmy Spencer leads at Rockingham with 106 laps complete.
If you could step back far enough, you could see this country as one big machine. Always moving, changing, working, with a pause now and then. Held together by the belts and pulleys of highways and back roads, and running on the desire that each day will be a little better than the last. And if you looked in close at how this machine works, in every turn of every gear, you'd see a Ford F-Series. The best-selling full-size pickup 16 years running. It's the truck more people keep turning to get down to business or get them far from it. And whether your part of the machine is running fence line or running errands, you'll find Ford F-Series pickups are designed and built to do it with no questions asked, which keeps this big machine of ours running that much better. And to think, you thought it was just a truck. Ford F-Series, the #1 selling truck, is built Ford tough.
At 180 miles an hour, Darrell Waltrip can't afford a bad part.
Ouch, man, that hurt. Like you, I need quality parts at the right price. And at Western Auto, we guarantee it. You'll find thousands of top name brand parts, all backed by Western Auto's unbeatable everyday low price guarantee. Right?
Right, DW. And pick up quality Rebestos brake parts at Western Auto's unbeatable low price. Rebestos, the best in brakes.
The right parts, unbeatable low prices. At Western Auto, we guarantee it.
Right, DW.
Rust. What it can do to the outside of your car, weak, neglected antifreeze can do to the inside. You need Prestone. No matter what happens to the outside, Prestone protects the inside. Prestone stops the rust that stops your car.
Hey, use a spark plug that's tested to fire clean for 30,000 miles. Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
Welcome back to Rockingham in the AC Delco 500. Quick look at the rookies in this race. Jeff Gordon just got lapped. He started 7th. He's now running 29th. Bobby Labonte's dropped back 12 spots from where he started. And Kenny Wallace from the tail of the field up to 25th. Harry Gant chasing Jimmy Spencer, the race leader.
Just about 2 laps ago, Gant pulled up on the outside of Spencer going down in the corner.
That's John Andretti in the Harris Teeter car down low, getting overlapped. He'll be Billy Hagan's driver for all next season.
That's a real smart thing to do, is get him a lot of seat time before next year. All he's doing now is just learning the heavy car and the narrow tires and all from the Indy cars that had so much rubber down on the racetrack.
I'll tell you what, it's got to be a different feel for him. He was driving that 300-mile-an-hour top fuel dragster to go into one of these. He ran the dragster some, you know.
Here's Rusty Wallace following Derek Cope. Just ahead of Dale Jarrett. 9th place here. Just ahead of Kyle Petty, just behind Dale Jarrett, that is. Jarrett in 9th, Cope in 10th, Wallace 11th, and they're running 8.5 seconds behind the leader.
Mike, right about now, the crew chiefs, anybody that's not leading the race, the crew chiefs are calling, what can we do for you? What can we make you better? You know, when we have a caution or whenever we stop, what can we do to fix your car? Then you need,
no complaints for Jimmy Spencer, that's for sure.
No, then you need somebody to take shorthand if it's real bad.
Yep.
Well, I tell you, Gant's car, we saw it just there's Bobby Allison in the pits. Jimmy Spencer. Gant, the last time, couldn't follow him around this time. As he goes down in turn 3, he's been running high before, but you're talking about high. The last few laps, he's about knocked the fence down. As he's going through, watch Gant up here. He's going up, he was right below the top line. He's all the way above that top line. He's been real loose off the corner. His back end been flying out from under him.
Neil, something else. He's running in a groove where nobody else is at, and he's wearing tires a lot more than somebody that's down in the groove where there's rubber buildup in the racetrack itself, so he'll run out of tires quicker than anybody else.
Plus, he's got to move all that little, dirt and rubber debris out of there and make himself a groove up there where nobody's been running. Here's your Napa Field standing update, where your favorite driver is at 110 laps because there are no unimportant parts. Napa.
I saw Gant one time all the way beside. Look here. Now, here's a battle right here. There's 28 car and the 6. Going under the 4 car. Mark Martin said he had a loose condition, but he's still running that 28 car down.
And Nemechek is now just 1 lap down, driving for the Morgan McClure team in the Kodak car today.
There's Mark trying to make that move to the inside. He says he's loose. It's hard to drive under somebody without their rear giving.
Look at that 28 go up the racetrack. Look at the back end of that car. When you talk about loose now, he's got a loose condition. Momentum off the corner to the upper lane.
How many more RPM do you turn on the high part of the racetrack than you would if you're trying to dig off the bottom?
I'd say it had to be 150, 200 more because you run at that part of the track. You're already at real high RPM, and you hold it down just a split second longer, it really buzzes that motor up there. And that's what hurts it so bad. You're already at say 85, 8600. When you zing it up to 88, I mean it rattles it around. But the driver always promised the wheel.
I won't blow up your motor.
I was down in the garage yesterday, and I kept hearing all these top guys say, if you'll give me so-and-so gear, I'll take it easy when I'm on fresh tires, and I won't hold it wide open. Well, that's over now. They're wide open.
Neil, both of us have done that. We told Harry Hyde and people like that, if you'll give me that gear, I promise I'll keep my eye on the tachometer, and I won't over-rev it. Never even look at the tack once the race starts.
Yeah, the motor blew up, and they said, what did the oil pressure say before? I said, oh, it looked good. Never looked at it again. Start the flag, you never look at those things. Something about being a race car driver, you just don't tell all the truth about what that car is doing at times.
Not all the time.
And don't give a lot of room when you pull over on the straightaway. That was really close. See Bill Elliott making a move here.
Boy, there's a lot of wiggling. We've been hearing these guys say, who's going to outslide who? Well, that's the name of the game right now, it looks like.
The real problem is when you tell a crew chief the car is perfect and you're running 15.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a hard sell.
Yeah.
No, the worst part is when you're out there and you've got your tongue hung out and they say, can you pick up the pace?
Yeah, right.
Give me a set of pebbles. I'll see if I can help this thing. Elliott's coming back now. Seems like one guy will take off and he'll heat things up and then he loses. Oh, look at, boy, Dale Jarrett, the 28 almost got together coming off turn 4. This is a good day if you want to just to bump into somebody. So I couldn't help it. We were all sliding.
Right.
You got a good excuse today. And I tell you, people don't realize what a good job these drivers do under these conditions at the speeds they run, having to drive up beside somebody, slipping and sliding. If they do touch every now and then, look here, look at Dale Jarrett, just going as hard as he can to pass somebody, car sliding sideways 150 miles an hour. Not just anybody can do that.
Nope. Looks easy on television. It's not. Trouble back straight away. A fiery crash. Kenny Wallace against the wall. One car comes bouncing off it. Here come the leaders. They're going to move past it all on the low side. That's T.W. Taylor up against the fence. And they'll come back around to the start-finish line. With Earnhardt in front, and where's Irvin? Another car got involved in it, and it's up against the wall.
72, it looks like, up on the wall.
That it is, John Andretti at turn 3. A lot of smoke from, I think that's Mike Waltrip's car. Now, Kenny Wallace continues, even though that car caught fire. We'll take a look at what happened when we come back.
Hi there. You know, Video PM is coming your way again Monday here on TNN with Kathy Martindale and Gary Beatty. It'll be great fun.
Yes, it will be. We have the top 10 video countdown first in the nation right here on Monday's PM.
York and Art Newsom Incorporated have redefined the standard for heating and air conditioning with new, stronger, more efficient commercial and industrial equipment.
Our new 2000 and 3000 series equipment will cost less to operate, provide a good ROI, and with the York A&I warranty, you control your overhead. Sizes are available from 3 to 100 tons with natural gas heat.
Church, factory, office, or retail outlets, York and A&I understand replacement and construction budgets. Smart business people phone Art Newsom Incorporated.
And York.
Raceway Souvenirs, your source for NASCAR and Winston Cup racing souvenirs. Just about anything for the racing fan, including race team jackets, T-shirts, Winston Cup sweatshirts, unique glassware sets, collector plates, and all kinds of hats. Racing collectibles are our specialty. Hard to find die-cast miniatures from today in NASCAR history, ready to assemble kits, and racing collector cards. We've even got racing bottled water. Raceway Souvenirs in Hampton, West Mercury Boulevard between Captain George's and Pizza Hut.
Cleanup underway. That's the back straightaway where T.W. Taylor's car is parked. John Andretti's car is against the wall at turn number 3. And there were other cars that sustained damage. In this, the 6th caution flag of the day.
See if we can pick up what happens here, buddy, coming off turn 2. Oh, there's car sideways already.
That's Taylor.
Looks like he just lost it down there, right up in front of everyone.
You talk about threading a needle.
Kenny Wallace said that's the Andretti car. Looks like it hit him toward the right front wheel off. 26 car ran over some debris. And here comes a lot of the lead cars. There's Elliott, the 28.
Top of your screen.
Yeah, he just lost control coming out of the corner, and he backed it over there. And in that smoke, you really can't see anything. They're just driving where they think he won't be.
That Andretti car ripped the entire suspension off. Not only that, it tore the brakes off the car. And you see on the left side of your screen, he keeps going.
Look at Irvin way up high trying to snake down in there, and he just sneaks in front of Mark Martin.
A lot of lead cars there. Dodged a bullet on that one.
Neil, one thing, when you come in there like that, you hope everybody's slowing down. A lot of times the car behind you will knock you right into it, even though you're making an evasive move.
That's when those spotters are worth their pace on top of this building, telling you to shut it down. It's clogged completely up. 26 car that we saw run over some debris coming back into the pits. He'd already been in once. Must have ran over something.
Mike Waltrip also got just a little piece of Taylor's car on the right front as he went past.
There's a 26 car that looks like we saw him run over a big piece of trash or debris, and they're looking to see what kind of damage he has under the car. The car jumped up when he ran over it, so no telling what it is.
Let's try to get a word with Mark Martin, buddy.
Okay, Mark, this is Buddy Baker at TNN. That thing looks like it's really greasy out there today, is it?
Seems like the track's gotten really loose, a lot more loose than most of us expected. A bunch of us are out there, you know, just running sideways, and there's a few cars that are really hooked up. So we've got to just keep working on this thing and see if we can get it tightened back up.
Okay, man, good luck.
They've been under the hood on Ricky Rudd's car, and they are working underneath the right rear corner of Jeff Gordon's car. He might have run over some of that debris as well. in the back straightaway.
You know, we saw him, Mike, run over some of the 26, but we got a radio call saying they thought they broke a valve spring also. And I tell you, when you could slam the brakes on, chatter the wheels, and bounce that motor around, it's kind of unusual for it to happen, slowing down like that. They could possibly done it. Look at the two-car where he's sitting on his restart. Boy, I tell you, they get him in and out of those pits.
We're under caution. We've been talking to some of the crew members. And as we go to break, we asked Raymond Fox of the Robert Yates team if he wants to move up in racing from where he is right now.
No, it's not really tough. It's, I don't know. It's right now, the way I am now, I wouldn't want to be way up in the ladder because it's a big responsibility, and I don't think I can take that. But I just like to be a general mechanic. But one day I would love to be a crew chief.
It happens only twice a year. Sears National Hardware Sale. Pick up the 75-piece Craftsman Mechanics tool set with 3 quick-release ratchets and case, only $59.99. Or get a 19-piece screwdriver set, 4-piece plier set, or a 10-piece combination wrench set. All Craftsman, all guaranteed forever, all your choice, just $19.99. And this 20-inch toolbox with metal tray, also only $19.99. It's the biggest hardware event of the season, and it's only at Sears.
People care about the world these days. They just don't want me to put another toxic antifreeze in their car. I mean, who needs toxic? So what if it protects to 70 below? Any antifreeze can do that. Tell me that it's different, safer. Tell me nothing protects better, and it's biodegradable. I mean, what if their dog gets into it? Or their kids? This is serious. It's a changing world. Poison's out.
New Sierra. It's not just antifreeze, it's safety freeze.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank. Okay. Yes, get us 2 cases. I have one. Yes, sir, right away. Robert, we're out. Get us 2 cases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Havoline Formula 3 from Texaco. The same Havoline Formula 3 you can use in your car.
That was quick.
Yeah, they had it right down the street.
Hey, we got 50.
I go simple, I go easy, I go Greyhound.
Now when you plan ahead, you can save 50% with Go Easy Fares. It's our biggest discount, so call now.
I go Greyhound.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSC street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSC, only from Goodyear.
TNN Motorsports exclusive live coverage of the AC Delco 500 is brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires.
I'm standing by with Bobby Allison, the man who had a lot of success here at Rockingham. First of all, Bobby, good to see you out here today. It's got to feel good to see that number 12 car up front.
Well, I'm really pleased with how he's running, Glenn. He's doing a nice job in that Meineke Ford, and, you know, worked really hard this week, you know, on getting the car to handle well and drive good, take good care of the tires, and Jimmy Spencer's certainly doing that, and the guys are working really hard, and the car's running good.
You mentioned tires. I saw him take the tires off the car. Hold on, we got a problem here.
Got an ambulance on fire back there, Glenn, that took either T.W. Taylor or John Andretti on the mandatory trip to the Care Center. It's down behind the pits in turn #1, so. A lot of the rescue help here at the track is volunteer. That's the Wallace Rescue Squad. And not Rusty Wallace, as are many of the wreckers. Let's go back down to Glenn now that that's extinguished. Glenn.
Okay, the problem there seems to be solved. Bobby, I saw him check the tires after they took them off there. That looked to be a perfect set of tires. So the chassis on this car evidently must be really dialed in right now.
Well, the guys worked really hard on that, and of course we've had a good car for a lot of the year. And little things have come into the picture, and but the guys keep on working, and they worked hard on that yesterday, and it is showing pretty good today.
Well, again, as I say, it's really good to see Bobby Allison out here focused on his race team. Hope you have a good day, Bobby. Ralph?
Thank you, guys.
Glenn, this is Scott Robinette, who is one of the crew members for the Harry Gant team. Now, Scott, while everybody's getting their cars tightened up, you took wedge out of Harry's car. Why?
car's a little bit tight, and it's pretty good, but we want to try it this time, just see, you know, if it's better, we'll leave it. If it didn't, we'll just put it back in next time.
Now, how loose can you go? Are you real close to being on the fine line?
Just a fine adjustment right there. Not really, not major, just pretty fine, yeah. It should be a little bit better. We usually push here, so, you know, I think it'll be okay right there. If it didn't, we'll change it back.
Mike, they took one round out.
Thanks, Ralph. T.W. Taylor's car is pretty well messed up. This car was purchased from Bob Sutton and Brad Akins after they ran 10th with it at Dover with driver Bobby Hamilton. It will need some serious surgery.
Looks like a new clip to me. What do you think, Neil?
New clip and a section on the right. He took a pretty good shot there, buddy.
Here's our behind-the-wall update.
Ambulance caught on fire earlier. Boy, I tell you what, that thing must have been leaking fuel.
Yeah, not just the race cars that need good pit crews here. We're under caution. We'll go back to green in a minute. 132 laps are complete at the North Carolina Motor Speedway. And yes, Dave Marcus stayed out on the track, and he is the leader. He gets his 5 bonus points. Be right back.
In IndyCar racing, when it rains, we don't race on super speedways. But we're running this IndyCar on Goodyear Eagle GSC street radials to prove a point. What's the point? Outstanding wet traction. Eagle GSC, only from Goodyear.
Starting your engine is a terrible thing to do. But when you do start your car, there isn't an engine treatment in the world that can give it the kind of protection Slick 50 engine formula can. Because nothing else has Slick 50's unique chemistry. That's why Slick 50 protects so well at startup and keeps on protecting for up to 50,000 miles. And you can reduce engine wear by up to 50%. What it takes is Slick 50.
TNN viewers have come to know Race Day is their same-day source for motorsports highlights and news. This is Pat Patterson. Be sure to join us tonight at 8:30 when we'll have highlights of many of the day's big events. Don't wait for tomorrow's paper to find out what happened today. Watch Race Day tonight right here on the Nashville Network.
Race Day, 2nd edition, 8:30 p.m. Eastern today on TNN Motorsports.
Next week on TNN Country News, Garth Brooks celebrates his 14th #1 hit, plus a front row seat to an Alan Jackson concert.
TNN Country News, weeknights.
One of the biggest industries here in the sand hills of North Carolina is pulpwood. Those sand pines proliferate around this area, and they go into making plywood, particle board, all sorts of different things.
They proliferate up here. We grow them in Alabama.
Yeah.
That looks like the fork you used at dinner last night.
Oh, stop it. Stop it. I'll tell you.
You have to put up with both of us if you like it or not.
I'm going to Glenn Jarrett. Be that way.
Well, thanks, Mike. John Andretti has come out of the care center. He is okay. We're glad to see that. Your initiation has been kind of grinding into stock car racing. John, what happened out there?
Well, I guess I couldn't hardly see the number because there was so much tire smoke, but I was running right behind Michael Waltrip, and he moved to miss it, and he couldn't see it either, and he hit him, and I could see it even less until he moved. So it's just one of those things. I mean, when one of these things turns sideways on a track like this, there's not many places to go, and I was probably a little too close to maybe Michael to see everything, you know, but that's where I was racing. So, you know, I'm disappointed because Harris Teeter just came on board, and for them, because we would have liked to get the whole race in for him.
Well, better luck next time. Fortunately, John was not in the ambulance that had the problem. Ralph is there.
Well, Glenn, they had problems all morning long getting this ambulance started. It kept stalling out on them. I'm not sure exactly what the problem was. Maybe something electrical inside the engine, but it did go, and it went in a hurry.
The crews continue to work. That was not one of the ambulances that was transporting John Andretti or T.W. Taylor to the infield care center. Well, they're watching the races in style.
Well, they got their lazy boys up there. Laid back, taking it easy.
But did they get it at Heilig-Myers? That's the big question here. Film at 11. Ernie Irvin has won this year for Morgan McClure and for Robert Yates. Has that been done before? James from California wants to know, and Greg Fielden, who's 40 years of stock car racing encompasses 4 volumes. He's our statistician and historian. In 1970, Richard Petty won 16 races in a Petty Enterprise car and 2 on dirt in Don Robertson's car. In 74, Bobby Allison won in cars of his own and cars owned by Roger Penske. In 67, Bobby won in Holman Moody Fords and a J.D. Bracken car, but the record, 1971, Bobby Allison won with 3 different teams. Twice in his own Dodge Charger, 8 times in Holman Moody Fords and Mercuries, and once in Melvin Joseph's Ford Mustang. Yes, the Mustang was an eligible Grand National car back in 1971. Charlie Presley, brother of soon-to-be Winston Cup driver Robert Presley, was asked if it's been his goal all along to be able to work with his brother as he will in 95.
Yeah, I wanted to stay in racing. When I seen Robert really take a serious interest in driving, I wanted to one day be teamed with him and do what we're going to get the chance to do in 95. Hopefully be very successful at it.
Now, when I was a young boy,
Cold filtered, Miller Genuine Draft. For those who've discovered its smooth draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
But now I'm a man, way past 21.
You know which motor oil can help keep your car running for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more? It's the same brand that more top mechanics in America use in their own cars. Valvoline motor oil.
People who know use Valvoline.
One oil filter traps 80% more dirt than the leading competitor. Clearly, that's Motorcraft. Motorcraft quality parts from Ford.
You probably have a good idea of what to do with old tires. But when you need new ones, no matter what you drive, it's a good idea to go to Pep Boys. They'll help you choose from a huge selection: Michelin, Uniroyal, BF Goodrich, and Cornell, and have you on your way in under an hour with a low price guarantee. So for tires that'll give you a lot of miles and then some, come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Really hard to explain. It'd be like a full-blown dinosaur screaming in your ear.
Oh.
It just nails you in the seat, pushes you back and up so hard that you almost wonder if your neck's going to stay on it when it's really on a good run.
If you were sitting still at a stoplight and got run into at 100 mile an hour by an 18-wheeler, that'd give you some kind of an idea of what it feels like.
Get ready. The NHRA Winston Finals next Sunday live only on TNN Motorsports.
Flag. We're back underway here at the North Carolina Motor Speedway under green from our Ray Bestis aerial platform. The Best in Brakes people, Ray Bestis bringing you this shot of the restart as Jimmy Spencer hauls them around the North Carolina Motor Speedway.
I think Jimmy Spencer must have borrowed one of those trick transmissions. He got a pretty good jump there too, Neil.
Yeah, he got a good jump on him. What happened, the 15 car is trying to get that lap back on these restarts, which is totally the way it needs to be done. He's working that inside, and the guy on the front gets a good jump.
All of them 3 wide.
Contact right here. So the cars touch. One on the outside sliding up. That was Hutton Strickland.
Derek Hope was the driver of the yellow car on the bottom there. And Mark Martin moves in.
Hutton Strickland on the outside of one of the lap cars.
That's the Jimmy Horton car.
Mark
Active trucking.
Yeah, Mark trying to make that same pass.
And look at what's happening inside Mark Martin's car.
8200. The front straightaway, you turned a lot more RPM. That was coming up the back straightaway. This front straightaway, this dog leg is where you see some bigger numbers. See what he gets it up to. 82, 4, 84. And you see where he's lifting at. He's not running that high line like we were talking about earlier. That bottom lane's probably a couple of hundred RPM less.
Let's go up to the battle for second place where Earnhardt and Harry Gant are going at it. It's Ford, Chevy. Spencer, Gant, Earnhardt. Ken Schrader is 4th. Bill Elliott is 5th.
This is just going to, when Earnhardt tries under the 33, Gant, I thought Gant might move on that outside. That's where he's been so good.
Back behind them, Derek Cope must have had a killer pit stop. He is back in 6th. Mark Martin is 7th. Here's 8th place Kyle Petty on the left side of your screen. Strickland, Wallace, Irvin, Dale Jarrett, and Jimmy Horton battling. Horton is 1 lap down.
I guarantee you, Rusty Wallace right here is digging. He's wanting to get up there and try to lead one of those laps.
Show you what happened here just a moment ago in that pack down in turn 1. Kyle Petty getting a little shot here.
Looks like Kyle slowed down the inside lane, got a little bit of tap in the rear. Another tap. And he starts up the racetrack.
That's Hut Strickland.
Kyle ran out of racing.
Caution is out. Oil in turn 1 again is the reason for the caution this time.
It's that mystery car again. It's the car that has the 55-gallon oil tank on board.
Holy cow.
Jimmy Spencer, the former national modified champion. He won that title driving for Frank Cece, Scott, and Jeff Welliver, who now have the number 34 Fiddlefaddle car in the Busch Series, driven by Todd Bodine and next year by Mike McLaughlin. But in yesterday's Busch race, as we mentioned earlier, Spencer was trying to lap Bobby Dotter, but the leaders were lapping Spencer, including 97, the blue and white car, Joe Bessie. Now, number 2 is in 2nd place, Ward Burton. Here comes the white and blue car of Bessie. Spencer's car, the Ruby Tuesday's car, is that teal-colored machine. Spencer won't give the low groove, and they get together and hard. Now watch, the man in white is Spencer, the man in yellow is his gas man, and they get into it with Joe Bessie's crew. We talked to Spencer this morning.
I was wearing a white suit, you know, and one of my crew members was wearing a yellow suit. All he was doing was trying to protect me, and, you know, something happened there, and he got in trouble also for it. But I have to stick up for my guys. You know, my crew members are sticking by my side, and, you know, it's one of them deals that probably shouldn't have happened, and I'm responsible for what he did, really. And it's a bad deal all the way around, but I'm the type of person that I have to address something if I think it was right or wrong. I like to get it out of the way right then and there. Don't like to carry it over to the next race.
Well, NASCAR addressed it as well. Spencer and crewman Mike Culbertson were fined $1,000 each, and each were suspended from Busch Series competition through the end of this year. We are under caution at lap 145. Here's the way they're running. We'll be right back.
Next week on TNN Country News, Garth Brooks celebrates his 14th #1 hit, plus a front row seat to an Alan Jackson concert.
TNN Country News, weeknights.
Every year, millions of gallons of motor oil are poured down drains, dumped on the ground, and tossed into landfills. It's a crying shame for the environment and for everybody in it. That's why Advance Auto Parts provides free oil recycling at every store 7 days a week. Bring your used motor oil to Advance and make the future a cleaner, safer, happier place. For all of us.
When you look for the leader in local news, look to Channel 3 Eyewitness News, the team you can turn to. Channel 3 Eyewitness News has more reporters covering the stories you care about. That's the coverage you expect from Hampton Road's first television station, because we've always been there for you. That's why more people get their local news from Channel 3 than from any other station. And that's why Channel 3 Eyewitness News is Hampton Road's #1 news source. You can count on us.
Welcome back to Rockingham, North Carolina. We are going to hold under caution here for a bit. A lot of questions about gas on our 800 number. Debbie from California, how many gallons of gas in the gas can and how many in the fuel cell?
Well, the fuel cell holds 22 gallons, and each one of the gas cans in the pits are allowed 11 gallons per can. You can't have but 2 cans, so you can't stock the extra if you got to go get it after every caution. How'd that sound?
Pretty good.
It sounded like you knew what you was talking about.
I kind of confused myself right there at the end for a minute.
Somebody asked if they could run the gas in their cars that NASCAR race cars use, and no, it is leaded gas, leaded racing gas. It is not unleaded. The extra octane this fuel has won't hurt you, Won't hurt your engine, but your engine probably doesn't have enough compression to take advantage of it
I
either.
will tell you this, it'll turn your valves in a regular car a little cherry red because they are, you know, high octane.
Show you a little something here between Brett Bodine and Ricky Rudd. Quaker State and the Tide cars.
Trying to get a shot of him here.
Under the caution, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, let's see if it goes back up here. Here we go. Kaboom. That's another one of those cases where you want to settle it immediately, not delay the action.
For a bunch of cars there side by side. I think that was probably one of those who came off pit road in front of who deals.
Looks like the right front fender's been in on the 26. I don't know if it happened during this deal here.
Ricky Rudd, runner-up twice in this race. Bobby Hillen's been black flag to make a stop.
What he might have said, just check my left side here. I'm going to turn in front of you and let you check my left side, see if it's okay.
Well, let's check with Ralph.
Mike, the great gas mileage the crews have been getting here has made things pretty boring for the Maxwell House gas man, Hinky Eames. So Hinky decided he'd take some leftover lug nuts and make a set of dice out of them. And these guys have been shooting craps up against the pit wall.
Oh, Hinky, don't take those things to Vegas. Bill and Gail Davis there in the shot there who own that car. Bobby Labonte with quite a number of top 10 finishes this year. He's kind of labored in the shadow of Jeff Gordon because Gordon's run up front a lot, but over the last few races, Labonte's finishes have been better. Kenny Wallace is the other member of that rookie trio, and he was involved in one of the accidents. He's back in 35th place. We'll be back to the North Carolina Motor Speedway as we continue under caution and they clean up the speedway. We'll be going back to green shortly.
Miller Genuine Draft Rusty Wallace stock car. See it. Hear it. Feel it. Catch it, if you can.
Robert, all we need here is some oil and we'll be ready to crank. Okay. Yes, get us 2 cases to have one.
Yes, sir, right away. Robert, we're out.
Get us 2 cases and fly.
There's only one motor oil that Robert Yates Racing relies on for complete protection. Haviland Formula 3 from Texaco. The same Haviland Formula 3 you can use in your car.
That was quick.
Yeah, they headed right down the street.
Hey, we got 50.
What's new from Xerox? Xerox Extreme 450 antifreeze and a new 4-year guarantee. We've taken our promise to extremes. For the next 4 years or the next 50,000 miles, we guarantee the temperature never drops below Xerox.
More Americans trust Napa for everything they need to keep their vehicles running and to help them save, too. Pick up these halogen headlights as low as $4.99. Napa antifreeze is just $1.99 after rebate. And this Napa Power Battery is only $29.99 after rebate. So run into your nearest Napa Auto Parts store today.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Exclusive live coverage of the AC Delco 500 on the Nashville Network is brought to you by Napa, because there are no unimportant parts. We're getting ready to go back to green. After pit stops, Jimmy Spencer, the leader. Harry Gant in second. Dale Earnhardt is third. Fourth is Ken Schrader. Fifth, Bill Elliott. Sixth is Derek Cope. Seventh, Mark Martin. Eighth, Kyle Petty. Ninth is Rusty Wallace. 10th, Dale Jarrett. 11th is Ernie Irvin. 12th, Darrell Waltrip. 13th is Dick Trickle. 14th, Sterling Marlin. And 15th is Terry Labonte. Ahead of Morgan Shepherd, Jeff Bodine, Ricky Rudd, Brett Bodine, Todd Bodine, all the Bodines, Rick Mast and Dave Marcus. Those are the cars on the lead lap.
Sure there went a couple more Bodines in there?
Well, 3 Bodines and 3 Wallaces. Hey. The second race in a row.
What a family affair. Look at Spencer get that big jump again.
And that's Earnhardt chasing him this time. Chevy, Ford, Chevy, 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 Ford.
You see Gant coming there. Gant has been right up front all day, but he still hasn't led a lap. But he's not through yet either.
And important to the point chase, neither has Rusty Wallace. Dale Earnhardt has.
It seems to me that Earnhardt's just a little faster than Spencer on cold tires. See him, he's able to close in right in the center of the corner there. Not bad down the straightaway, huh, Neil?
There's 3 of the racingest guys you'll ever see.
Yes, it's getting crowded down here.
2 laps and he's in the high groove.
They said they made a chassis adjustment when he started to see if it would make it better. And if it didn't, they'll take it back away. So they're still playing with Gant's car, trying to get it better.
Here comes Earnhardt up under the quarter pound and Jimmy Spencer there. No, they made a little touch there.
Wasn't quite under it.
See the roll bar sticking out the back? That's the bumper now. That little panel off the back is gone. Now Spencer's up a little higher on the track.
Earnhardt's been good on the restarts. Remember, and almost get together.
Yeah, Spencer got real loose coming off that corner. Spencer's car's wiggling on him right now.
And that cost him the lead. So Earnhardt goes back to the front. Meanwhile, Wallace is back in 10th.
It only cost him the lead. It looks like Gant's trying for that second position now.
Boy, he made a big change on his car. He's able to pass somebody on the bottom of the racetrack. Here's
Gant. He's digging away on that inside, trying to get it. See, and there's Spencer taking that advantage of that, being able to run a little bit harder down in the corner from that outside. Spencer's car got loose with him earlier, so a little wiggle again.
Kenny Schrader's keeping respectful distance there in 4th place. He's got leg speed between himself and Bill Elliott.
Yeah, this is a case here where the driver says, hey, let me see what these guys do first before I get up in the middle of it, because both of them are sitting in there really close to each other, enter the corner and off. So Schrader probably let him get straightened out, and then he'll decide what he's going to do.
Spencer can get in the corner so hard. I mean, he just drives right on by Harry on the outside there. And second now, he looks like he's closing in on Dale Earnhardt again.
Gant just keeps on every now and then. He'll just test that water out there on the outside. He tried it a few laps ago. He lost ground. So I'm going to stick it out there a little bit more, trying it again. I don't know why I said test that water out there. That's concrete.
Yes. Out of the race, John Andretti, T.W. Taylor, and Loy Allen. When Ernie Irvin took off and led 15 of the first 16 laps and then led 52 more in a row, we got a call from Mississippi. Who'd led the most consecutive laps in a race? Cale Yarborough led 500 laps at Bristol in Junior Johnson's car in 1973. If the race had been 1,000 laps, he probably would have led 1,000 that day.
You got that right.
I was going to say he bowled a 300 game that day.
That's
he
right.
did all you can do.
Yep.
Here's Kenny Schrader. He's really flying around the racetrack right now. He's running very well all day. He's just kind of conserving the car, it looks like, but he's running right on the bottom of the racetrack, and that'll pay off later on in the race for him.
That's Blake's speed right behind him. Blake lost that lap early in the race, but it seems like his car is really good. He's able to stay with these leaders on every one of these race starts. Bill Elliott. But here's Gann. He's trying his best to get that outside and take it away from Schrader. Not Schrader, but Spencer. If he can ever get far enough to make Spencer get him that outside off the corner, he's okay. But trying to get a little bit further up there.
Jimmy Spencer, winless in 111 Winston Cup starts, looking for victory number 1. Harry Gant last went to victory lane last August at Michigan.
Well, Harry Gant's giving a clinic in that high line right at the second here.
Oh, speaking of Cale, his driver Derek Cope just got loosened up a little from Mark Martin.
Knocked a feather out of that Bojangles car, huh? Uh-oh, I didn't say that.
It's the chicken car, as you folks know.
You saw him as they came up that corner. You could see Cope look over to see who was inside. And see, there's the difference. See, Mark's on the inside of this guy now, and he can't use all the race cars. He turned 7,600 down the back straightaway. We're seeing a lot more earlier. You run that inside line, you got to back out. Turned 82 right there, 8,300 get down in turn 1.
Dale Earnhardt had a shot at the lead, Neil, down into turn number 1, but Horace Spencer's going to make him work for it.
Spencer makes me look smart, doesn't he? I told you, on hot tires.
Whoa.
Oh, look at the spoiler coming up here.
Dan hadn't led a lap yet, but he's probably the strongest car that had. He's been